Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 121 of Forever War Civilization 6. We have spread from our humble capital to conquer the entire world. First to fall were the Byzantines. Then we came down, we murdered the Khmer. Swung across, took out the Ottomans. Came down here to the bottom of the world, and we took out the Greeks. The Spartans, to be precise. Then we swung across the ocean. We took out our friends here, who were the Georgians. Where's their capital? I don't remember where their capital is. But, oh, here it is. We took it out. Then we swung down here. We took out the Mayans. We took out the Scythians. And we took out any number of city-states along the way. Vilnius, Kandy, Akkad, I think. Eritrea, Venice. We took them all out. All that remains in the way of complete domination is the city of Cusco. What's his name? Cusco. And we only have one way to end this episode and this entire series. We have a thermonuclear bomb. Just one. But one is all we need. We're going to land it on the city. So, without further ado, I feel that a game of this violence needs a little bit of blood. A little sacrifice at the end. So you know what? These two vampires, they will stand in the blast radius and take it. They will take the sweet light of freedom. Here we go. Wham. And with that, the final city is ripe for the taking. Our vampires, who knows where they are, and who cares? But the city is ripe for the taking. There is no more need to do anything with all these stupid units. No more need to choose production. No need to do anything at all. We're just going to march forward with our giant death robot and meet eternity. Turn 315, 1888. Here we go. And we've done it. And we've done it. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I finally have, after 8 years, a completed Civ 6 Let's Play on my channel. Oh my god. And a Civ game, a complete Civ game that ended in victory for the first time in, I don't even want to speculate how long. But yeah. We have achieved a score of ridiculous portions. Now, what I'm really curious about is the graphs. So, we're going to look at all these graphs. buildings constructed. As you might imagine, I was kind of at pace with everyone until I took way off at the end. Cities captured. Yeah, we took off around turn 200 and never looked back. We went absolutely insane by the end. But yeah, it was kind of touch and go for a little bit. If I take off myself, yeah, no one else got more than just a couple cities. Let me see, if I do this and I go here, cities captured. Very funny. Cities founded. We only founded about 20 cities. I mean, only 20, right? And if we look here, we really founded like 12 or 13. So we weren't that much higher than everyone else. But, yeah. Cities captured. Now let's look at cities lost. We do not register on this graph because I don't think we lost a single city. You can see everyone who we picked off here. Like Basil, it's hard to see his little line. But he was the first that we wiped out. Then Suleiman, we really did not have much progress against him for most of the game, and then we really went nuts. Lady Six Guy, likewise, like, she didn't lose a single city this entire game until we came along. So, Forever War was a slow grind. When you look at this game in its entirety, Forever War was a slow grind until the very end. I mean, that's J-Man. We kind of ground it out against the Ottomans and the Khmer. But then, starting at the point where we crossed the ocean, we just wrecked everyone's crap. You can even see when the city-states met their end. If you want. It's very silly of them to have died so easily to me. Ha ha ha. Districts constructed. I was actually outpacing everyone pretty good through most of the game, but of course the end got absolutely ridiculous. Great people. I actually am not in the lead for this. Well, actually I'm tied for the lead. Tamar was winning the Great People race. And who's that? Is that Gorgo? Gorgo, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're supposed to be really good at this. In fact, Gorgo was behind the dead-ass Byzantines for most of the game. That's funny. Okay, number of combats. Yeah, it doesn't take a genius to know who's going to be first. We're well over 2,000. And you can also see when we fought everyone, like, up until here, we were mostly fighting Basil. Then for a while, we were kind of in a stalemate. Then we started to go nuts and really go nuts. Now, the Ottomans were second most, so I think that was our most common sparring partner, which makes sense, considering the amount of time we spent fighting them. Player culture. Our culture was actually bullshit for most of the game. Look at that. You see that? If we take out Basil for a second, the dead man, we were at or near the bottom for pretty much all of it. Only the Ottomans were joining us. It wasn't until the very end of the game, when we started taking people out and taking over their stuff, that we just went to the moon. Not literally. We never got to the moon. Era score. Yeah, again, we were with the pack, but at the end, this is how we got into, like, a golden age with, like, hundreds to spare. Faith. We were using faith to buy things, but we never had that high of a faith generation until the very end. Basil. I mean, the faith leaders of this game, really, Lady Six Guy was the faith leader, and she maintained that right up until she met her end. So that's what she did. Gold. Everyone was spending their gold. That was me buying a submarine at the very end of the game. This is, it doesn't show you gold per turn, so it's hard to say, but everyone was spending their gold. It's just a wild map. I mean, what can you really say? Player science. Now, we actually did not have great science for most of the game. You see this? We were clearly on the bottom. We survived based on just grit for most of the game. But when we churned up, and at some point, I think around here, I was like, oh my god, our science is so bad. And then I started to focus on it for a while. Then I kind of lost the focus, and then I started capturing cities, so it was okay. But we got the text we needed. And then, of course, we skyrocketed at the end of the game. Once again, Lady Six Guy was the leader in science as well as faith. So she was doing well. It just didn't do well in the end for her. Score, she was edging me out. And I did sort of push past her, but of course, took off at the end. Total cities destroyed. I did not burn any cities apart from those 2 cities of J-Man very early on in the game. This was like episode 22 or something, because I knew I couldn't keep him at the time. And those were the only cities burned by anyone in the whole game. Alright, governor tiles. This is kind of dumb, but I never got all my governors. I could have gotten one more, but I never bothered. I just promoted the ones I had. Total governors. Yeah, whatever. Religions founded. It's always a silly chart because it's either going to be 1 or 0. So, what's the point? You can see when they were founded, though. Like, the first one, J-Man got off to an early start. Then it was Tamiris. Tamar never got a religion. Lady Six Guy was 2nd. Basil was actually 4th. And finally came Gorgo. The last one in. Units killed. Of course, we were by far the highest in that regard. And we were for the entire game. Although tomorrow she got off to a violent early start. Over there on the other continent. But yeah. They were fighting amongst each other for a bit. It was actually Suleiman, somehow, that had the lowest kill count. Even good old Basil, early on, killed more than him. Yeah, but Lady Six Guy, she was by and away the strongest player who wasn't me. But yeah, this was our early fights with the, what's it called? Basil. Then we sort of leveled out, and then we went nuts. If we go to units lost, I am happily at the bottom of this list. Now I lost like 12 or 13 units, but I killed like, this is probably close to 200. So I think that's a good ratio. Now, Lady Six Guy, the reason she lost more units is actually a bit of a credit to her, because she actually made units to lose. So yeah, she put up the best fight. I'll give her credit. You came in 2nd. It won't do you any good, but yeah, Basil, of course, he got shredded by me early on in the game. I didn't lose my first unit until here. I lost a few in the campaign against Basil. Lost more against the Ottomans, and then a handful at the end, but it wasn't much. Yeah, the Ottomans started to put up a fight over here. Tamar put up a fight. Basically, when you see the line going up, it means they put up a fight, because they had units that died. War declarations received. That's me. And I received like 70 war declarations, but those were city-states mostly. As far as everyone else... By the way, you see Tamar's resurrection here at the end. It's very goofy. Wonders constructed. Oh yeah, our last turn, Statue of Liberty, brought us up to 6. We did not make many wonders. We, of course, possessed many, many wonders, but we did not make many. Lady Six Guy, once again, the predominant person there. So, yeah. Murderous intention. We're going to go ahead and hit export timelines, right? Sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll hit just one more turn. We'll listen to him say goodbye. And there we have it. In the nuclear hellfire, we won. We defeated everyone. And now it is only us. And we have peace. For the first time since the beginning of the game. With our 116 cities. Just 5 short of the episode count. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I now have a complete Civ 6 Let's Play on my channel. I think that is super cool. I want to thank those of you who have been watching this since May when I started. It's been a very active year for me on Bone Canoe 86. It's been very fun to do this. Like, I'd come home from work and knock out a few episodes, or I'd have an extra couple hours during, a day off or whatever, knock out some more episodes, and now it's over. I'm still doing a lot of other stuff, though, of course. City Skylines, doing Taxi Tuesday, you'll see more of that. But I have something else cooking, something related to something I did early on in my channel's history. Big hint for you. As far as Civ, I do have another idea. I don't know if it's going to be a complete Let's Play, but just more of an experiment than anything else. But, in any rate, this is the end of the game. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. It's been a ride. So, for the last time in this series, this has been Bone Canoe 86 playing Civilization 6 Forever War. And goodbye.